What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank and my puppy Puppalupicus. All right. Now we sitting here chilling, right? And guess who pops up online? Tariq Nasheed. Okay, Tariq Nasheed, right? And apparently he has gotten wind that there's a few content creators who read him. Okay, who read him properly, and I wanted to see what his defense was going to be for getting read, for getting exposed, even though he always gets exposed. What happens when Tariq Nasheed is confronted with accusations, and how does he respond, right? And his response confirmed everything that me and Puppalupicus was thinking. Tariq Nasheed is stupid. He's a complete idiot. And anybody who follows him, who views him as a role model or as a leader, non-leader, are also very, very, very stupid, right? And you ever wonder why every time you encounter FBA online, they seem extra stupid, like almost like unreasonably stupid, almost like they trolling, right? The way they type, the way they comprehend, even the ones that got enough brain cells to write a paragraph, but sometimes the paragraph be like all in caps and shit, and you'd be like, why you got all cap me, bro? Right? And all of it is nonsensical. Like when you really sit back and wonder why you've never ever, and I guarantee you, no one has ever had an intelligent conversation with anybody calling themselves foundational Black American, right? But when you listen to their leader that they say is not their leader, because as the leader, he tells them he's not the leader because, you know, Tariq Nasheed is slick enough to keep one foot out the door so he can jump ship whenever accountability comes around the corner, right? So I'm listening to him, and instead of dealing with the information, I want you to understand, people who call themselves foundational Black American, when accusations come their way, instead of dealing with the information, they result straight to insults. That's the first indicator that they're stupid and they can't handle the conversation. That's the first indicator, right? And so Tariq's, the first thing he had, his foundation of his argument was the guy is fat. It's a Democrat. It's a Democrat plant, right? Now here's the thing, guys. They're so unintelligent. They don't realize they're saying the quiet parts out loud. So why do you, if you're FBA and, you know, why is it that you automatically go towards it's a Democratic plant? From what position are you standing? Are you standing on the Republican side and you say the Democrats are concentrating on you and your group, non-group, group, lineage group, non-group? Like, why would the Democrats, a political organization where African Americans hold 20% of political power in this world, why would they be targeting you? What side are you on? Are you a Republican? Who you pumping for there, Tariq? Now, when Tariq is confronted with intelligence, you can see that he doesn't have the intellectual capability or bandwidth to properly fight back. But the people that view him as the leader, non-leader, they are even more less intelligent. So they are inspired by the three brain cells that Tariq got, because they got one and a half brain cells, and only one of them joints work. And that is not even at 100% capacity. It's about 80%. All right, that one brain cell, 80%. So what I'm going to do, and I already know you guys seen it, but I got to put it together. Let's put the intelligent brother, okay, Kyle. You know, I tried to remember his name before I did this video, and I forgot. I think it's Kyle something. Light-skinned dude like me. I should be remembering light-skinned people's names, but I'm terrible with names. I'm absolutely terrible with names, so I apologize. Right? So let's put an intelligent brother who's making points based off evidence, right, in his argument towards the xenophobic hate group that wants to label all proud African Americans who are very much Pan-African. They want to label us with his lesser term, foundational Black Americans. Let's listen to this black brother, and then let's listen to Tariq, and let's see, okay? Let's see which one of these brothers would, if you had to choose who to follow, who would probably make better decisions, who could probably be more, emotionally stable and who has the most common sense and has his people's best interest in heart. Let's see which one you would choose. Okay. So without further ado, let's pay. And I know. Listen, I'm gonna have some people in the comment section that say I couldn't watch the whole video. If you could not watch the whole video when we got to the Tariq part, so I'm gonna put the other guy part first because we can all watch that over and over and over again. Then I'll put the Tariq part. If you could not make it through the video, please indicate in the comment section how far you got before you felt like you were losing brain cells and you had to get up out of there before something permanent happened to you. Let me know in the comment section how long you lasted, okay? All right, because I understand ain't anybody gonna last. Look, Papalupicus didn't last. You see him? He like, man, I'm just done with it. Look at him. He cute too, ain't he? And yes, I do exploit my dogs. See, YouTube like the puppies. Listen, you're a content creator. Put a puppy, all right, a goldfish, anything cute you got, put it in the beginning of the video. All right, YouTube like that shit. See, I'm smart. That's how I be getting the message out. I put the cute animal. Look at that. Come on now. You can't say no to that. Look at that. You can't say no to that. Can you? Exactly. All right. That's why I exploit my animals. I told you I exploit all my animals. I'm going to make me some money off these animals. All right. Especially the animals that I'm supposed to eat and I don't eat because they're too cute. So I'm going to make some money off them somehow. All right. But that's neither here nor there. I just want to let y'all know that's why I be putting animals because I don't be eating them. I'm supposed to eat them, but I just can't because they're cute. I'm a terrible farmer. All right. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now, guys. This is Afro Think Tank. I'm looking forward to the comment section. I'm out.
FBA, the foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other black people all day. That's divisive as fuck. Questioning niggas. Where you from? Where was you born? Nigga gotta show you your freedom papers? Damn, massa. I gotta show you the freedom papers? Who is these niggas on this nag? Bunch of motherfucking Stevens over there trying to check a nigga blood. Wanna check a nigga papers. Sound like ICE. Another 3-letter organization. Healing and perspective or hate speech and fear mongering. But a lot of us only know how to be in community with abusers. So when niggas start talking about healing, when niggas start talking about organization, we start talking about inclusion, we start talking about mass communal practices. You've never seen that. That's not your experience. That's not where you feel comfortable. Calling niggas names, checking niggas verification. What hood is this? What hood is that? Now, if we was gangbanging and killing each other, it would be a problem. But it's not a problem when a nigga asks where you from and it's on the internet and it's on the basis of a culture that we created out of oppression. You don't want to let other niggas participate in your culture because they come over here and degrade him. And you know the business of colonization better than anybody. These niggas is brainwashed. I'm not going back and forth with no nigga that come here from another country in search of the American dream when I know this shit is a nightmare. I'm not going back and forth with no nigga that think he finna get some favor from these white people. I see you niggas that's born in America do the same shit. Michigan head coach, that nigga ain't no tether. Stephen A. Smith ain't a motherfucking tether. How many niggas have we seen tap dance and degrade black people that are from America, born in America? When niggas do it from abroad, I don't say it's an issue with them. I know that they're brainwashed by the system because they went through colonization over there just like we went through it over here. Why the fuck is they leaving Africa? Because Europeans are destabilizing their countries, inserting capitalist dictators, fascist dictators in more democratic socialist societies, toppling governments, and then sending the niggas fleeing. Where do they go? To America. And what do? They come through with their religious minds, with their colonized minds, and destable Black American revolutionaries because they don't know no better. And it's a bunch of niggas in America that don't know no better because they only are used to being in community with abusers. We have been oppressed in this country for 400 years. Some of us don't know how it feels not to be oppressed. Some of you ain't comfortable if you're not oppressed. You've never created an idea of what freedom looks like for you. Black Americans, and I advocate for this, nigga, me and Big Cat are the blackest of Black Americans. We are true to the Black American experience. We are proud. We also understand that our story doesn't start here nor end here. The Panthers were Pan-Africanists. Marcus Garvey was a Pan-Africanist. All the leaders and things that came before you that gave you the blueprint to feel revolutionary were also thinking about global movements, mass communal practices instead of micro movements. The FBA, the foundational Black American.
All right, now that's one brother. All right, that's the smart brother. All right, now let's go. Now, hey, let's go to Tariq. Now, I promise you, the length of the video is not all him. All right, so you can skip past him once you can't do it no more. All right, because we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Grammys because all of this is gonna tie in. We're gonna talk about the Grammys. Now, listen. Let's get into what we got to talk about. Now, as you guys know, there was a big fat sassy punk, a DNC puppet, who made a video coming after and disparaging foundational Black American lineage. The Grits and Eggs podcast, Deontay Kyle, big old flabby punk, came after the lineage, and we got to understand where it's coming from. He did all of the DNC talking points. This is something coming from the DNC. Let's be very, very clear. All right, let's be very, very clear. They signal boost his rant against foundational Black American. They try, they do the thing where they try to frame it as a group. They do a little straw man where they try to frame FBA as a group and then try to attack that. They're attacking the lineage. You know why? There is no group. There's no organization. You're not attacking something that doesn't exist. You're attacking a lineage of people. That is the only thing that is FBA. There is no group. There is no leader. When they start bringing me up, yeah, that leader, y'all ain't outside. All that old sad. I'm going to play some of the clips. I ain't going to play a lot of it, but I'm going to play some of the clips. When they do that, they're trying to reframe the narrative so that they can attack it and control it, but they can't. The lineage and our delineation is a power move that they were not expecting. This is whooping everybody's ass. They are trying to contain it. These people are very upset that we have stopped the tethering. They are very upset that we've stopped the abuse. We've stopped the hustling of us. You understand? Yeah, if anybody says Tariq is the leader, that's them deliberately lying, wasting your time. But let me play some of the clips of Deontay Kyle. Let me play some of him disparaging me and disparaging our lineage, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. Let me get it together. And while I'm talking, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, all right, you guys share the space. You guys share the space, ladies and gentlemen. Let me play some of the rants of Deontay Kyle. And again, he hit on all of the talking points of the DNC. Look, every election cycle, they come around, circle around, try to disparage me, try to discredit me. They've been doing this for like over a decade. They do this every election cycle. Now they're trying to disparage the entire lineage, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let me play some of this stuff. All right, this is Deontay Kyle. Hold on one second.
All right, Tariq Nasheed gaining such a following.
Yes, I do have a large following, yes.
Because he's abusive.
Oh, Lord. I'm abusive?
In his verbiage, he's abusive in his rhetoric, and he's here to divide.
So I'm dividing. I'm dividing. Now, I want y'all to look at something. We're going to cover this. Now, look at my concern. Okay. Now, he's just doing Democrat shield talking points. But look at some of the people that was co-signing them, all right, in the comment section. My son, tell the truth, my inja. Gary Chambers, Ebro, I'm going to get on them in a minute. Oh, I'm going to get on Ebro and all them in a minute. Oh, I'm going to get on them. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. I sure am going to get on Ebro and them in a minute. Oh, yes, I am. Well, let me go to some. I ain't going to play too many because I don't want to, they circle around and say, I use their stuff or whatever. So Ebro was in a lot of the comments. Ooh, you talking that talk, And there was a rapper, Simba. Now, Simba's, I think he's Caribbean or something. Simba, and I like Simba. He can rhyme, but Simba's non-FBA. So a lot of the non-FBA cats are hopping in the mix. Hold on. Hold on.
Niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis. None of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other black people all day. That's divisive as fuck.
Okay. Ain't that what you doing? Ain't that what you're doing? How is that divisive and that's just what you're doing? You ain't outside. You're too big and fat to be outside. You inside eating. Deontay. So again, all of that trying to frame FBA as a group that's outside and all that stuff. Well, you got a straw man argument about a group that don't exist, and you're complaining that the non-existent group is not outside doing group stuff. Yeah, there is no group outside because there is no group called Foundational Black American. Foundational Black American, ladies and gentlemen, is a lineage of 43 plus million people. That is the only thing Foundational Black American is. It is nothing more, nothing less. If your lineage goes to the beginning of this country, you are a Foundational Black American. You don't have to walk around with a shirt that says FBA. You are a Foundational Black American by logic. You don't have to join a group. You don't have to join a cult. It's none of that stuff. It is an ethnic identifier. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, they know this. Let's be very clear. He's not dumb. Again, these are Democrat shield talking points. Because the Democrats know they lost because of delineation. This delineation is whooping everybody's ass. And they're talking about being divisive. See, it's only divisive when we want to say, hey, we are our own unique ethnic group. We are on code with each other. We got a lot of these weirdos out of our mix, and we're looking out for our best interest. See, these Democrat shills, and the Democrats send these people out here because, see, they're upset because right now in the country, as we see, we are not being abused as Foundational Black Americans, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in a long time in history, other groups are being targeted right now. We are not. I knew that we were not going to get targeted. We are not being targeted, and they don't like that. These people, the DNC, they don't like that. We are not being targeted. We got on code and said, hey, wait a minute, no. We ain't about to jump out here on the sword for everybody. So now they got all of these federal militarized police out here. And you know, if they've been doing all this training, they got to release some of this training on somebody. So it's always supposed to be us. They done all this training, so they got to release on somebody. So it's supposed to be us, but it's not us. We ain't jumping out there because we let people know this immigration thing is not our fight. We are not immigrants. We, ladies and gentlemen, are not immigrants, and we don't want to be compared as immigrants.
All right, now you've seen that. And if you notice, these dogs getting bigger and bigger. All right, these puppies are getting bigger and bigger. All right, so the internet is undefeated. And when something is posted on the internet, guess what? It's still on the internet. All right, so let me show you what happens when Tariq Nasheed confronts white supremacy. And let me show you what happens when Tariq Nasheed is confronted with Tariq Nasheed. Okay? Now, a lot of you guys hit me up and say, I don't know who that Tariq Nasheed is, right? And a lot of you guys saw that Tucker Carlson just co-signed FBA. And you see, Tucker Carlson is an intelligent white supremacist. So he's one of those guys who can see the weakness in the black community and exploit that. The same way you see Anton being identified and propped up and hyped up by white supremacy, Tucker Carlson, who is the king of white supremacy media and a tactician of white supremacy, knew exactly what he was doing when he was confronted by the leader, non-leader of FBA. So let's all have a reminder of when Tucker Carlson and Tariq Nasheed met. When Tariq, now keep in mind, this is the Pan-African Tariq Nasheed, all right? So let's go, and then we'll continue.
Good evening, morning and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Donald Trump is officially the president-elect of the United States, the Electoral College having voted yesterday. Many of Donald Trump's critics, meanwhile, have also reached a milestone. They're officially hysterical, some having reached a diagnosable level of panic and overstatement. It isn't just that the other guy won. In their view, it's the end of civilization itself, the beginning of a post-apocalyptic hellscape where Nazis fill the upper ranks of our government. Where'd they get that idea? Well, maybe from people like our next guest. Tariq Nasheed hosts a podcast, writes books and movies, has his own radio show. He's a robust presence on Twitter where, just this morning, he wrote this, quote, Trump has appointed to his cabinet people from the alt-right, a white supremacist sect that literally throws up Nazi salutes, hashtag never my president. Tariq joins us now. Tariq, thanks for coming on. So I looked at a list of the president-elect's cabinet appointments. Which one of them throws up Nazi salutes, literally, as you said?
Well, no. Well, Steve Bannon, he's associated with that alt-right organization, which is really nothing more than a sect of white supremacy. And those alt-right people, they were in a federal building at the Ronald Reagan building, throwing up Nazi salutes in the Steve Spencer. All of these, not Steve Spencer, but Richard Spencer, all of these guys are basically open white supremacists who practices Nazism. So, and Trump is associated with that, just like Reverend Wright was associated with Barack Obama, and you people here criticized him for that.
You don't say he was associated.
Yes.
You said appointed people to his cabinet who throw up Nazi salutes. Steve Bannon, by the way, is not in the cabinet. Has Steve Bannon thrown up a Nazi salute that you are aware of or can prove?
But Steve Bannon is a part, and he was representing that whole alt-right movement. So if we're going to play
Steve Bannon at this meeting? I mean, what does Steve Bannon have to do with it?
Well, the same thing. He was associated with the people doing it. Just like how you guys associate me with Black Lives Matter, and I have nothing to do with it. Steve Bannon was representing, and he was associated with those alt-right people who are nothing more than white supremacists. And if we can go deeper than that,
okay,
and if we go deeper than that, with the Trump, if we go deep, but we haven't gone deep enough, Tucker. But I want to get factual too. But the whole campaign was run on a white supremacist platform. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Here's my point. You have a lot of venues. People listen to you. You've got 160,000 Twitter followers. You've written a bunch of books. People believe you. And people are worried about Trump, and they don't know what this administration is going to look like. And here you come out in public this morning and say he's appointed people to his cabinet who are Nazis, literally, to quote you, who are giving the Nazi salute. And that's not actually true. And you knew it wasn't true when you said it, and yet you're whipping people into a frenzy.
And it's not true when you're saying it now. It's not true when you're saying it now because I didn't say that. And that's the problem with systematic white supremacy. You get to label people and say that they said things and they didn't say. No, you didn't read my tweet. No, you didn't read my tweet. You just put your own thing to it, Tucker, which is kind of something that you do. Ask me what I said, and I'll be glad to answer that, Tucker. I'll be glad to answer it. But don't add nothing else to it, though.
Just want to jog your memory now, Tariq. Trump has appointed people
to his cabinet. I know what I said. I know what I said, Tucker.
Who literally throw Nazi salutes. And that's just not true. So my question is, isn't it irresponsible of you to say something that inflammatory that you know isn't true? Look, you may disagree with Trump, and that's fine. But he hasn't appointed Nazis to his cabinet.
What you're saying isn't true. Sir, he's appointing a guy who's associated with the alt-right, and the alt-right, they are literally throwing up Nazi signs. Not only that, Donald Trump himself, he has disenfranchised and discriminated against black people his whole career. Okay. So this is not something that I'm just reaching out of a bag. And there's other people associated with Trump in the cabinet who have practiced systematic racism for years. So I'm just not pulling anything out of a bag. Even in the campaign, black people were getting beat up and called racial names. So I'm not pulling something out of thin air, Tucker. I'm not pulling anything out of thin air.
Really quick questions.
Go ahead,
sir. What do you think if there are literally Nazis in the cabinet, what do you think Ben Carson, who's going to be the HUD secretary, thinks of that? Is he involved in that too?
Well, just because you get an individual black person and tokenize that black person, no matter how qualified he is, no matter how qualified a black person is, if you tokenize a black person and put him in a system of white supremacy, that doesn't negate the system of white supremacy. You just put a black person as the face of white supremacy. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. So I'd want to ask you about some stuff that you've written because I think it's important for viewers to know who you are, okay? Because people take you seriously. Now, you are, in addition to a lot of other things, the author of a number of books on dating. One of them is called The Art of Macking. Yes. You've written a couple others. And I just want to read you, I was reading it today, it's an interesting book. Chapter 6, Guaranteed Ways to Get Sex from Women. And I'm quoting you. In this chapter, I will give some tried and proven techniques that will help you talk a woman into giving it up. I will also offer you precise rebuttals to every objection a woman may have to giving it up. You say this, the number one lame thing men say to get sex, I love you. You describe that as the bold lie approach. And then you say this: if a woman isn't ready for sex, you quote, 1, question her maturity, 2, minimize the significance of sex, and 3, tell her what she wants to hear. Now, you're advocating lying in order to take advantage of women sexually. This is in your book. I'm not misquoting it. Why should we believe anything that you say if you're counseling people to say, I love you, and lie to women in order to get them in bed?
Tucker, the fact that you're this desperate to get one of my books, which is a book on satire, it's a tongue-in-cheek book. The book was written in a comedic fashion, and the fact that you're getting that to try to justify disenfranchising me, to try to minimize the significance of what I do in the system, that's so cheap, Tucker.
I was just joking, Ruth. So actually, I read about 10 interviews you did on the... Okay.
Tucker, don't be a sucker, Tucker.
Okay, so here's an interview you gave to Esquire.
That's so cheap, Tucker.
That is so cheap, it's a legitimate
Tucker.
Question. You said
Tucker,
this,
I'm talking about systematic white supremacy, and you're trying to discredit me by getting a quote from my book, which is tongue-in-cheek, which is about relationships. A lot of the book is satire, it's comedic, and that's so cheap, Tucker. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, Tucker.
Let me just say, I don't think that you were being tongue-in-cheek, and the scores of interviews you did and the 2 follow-up books you wrote on this exact subject, how to lie to women to have sex with them.
The book has so many comedic sections in it, but I don't get them.
But it raises the question,
Go ahead, Tucker.
Are you being tongue-in-cheek now with all this race war stuff you're constantly talking about? He's a white supremacist,
Unfortunately,
Nazis.
I'm not, because white supremacy is not tongue-in-cheek.
Okay,
we live in a system. We live in a system of white supremacy, and white supremacy is not a joke. White supremacy is not a joke. We live in a system that's dominated in all areas of activity of white supremacy. So I take that very seriously, sir.
So but you're making specific allegations that are untrue, and you know that they're untrue because you're not stupid.
I'm not.
You know exactly what you're doing.
I'm not. You're trying to put words in my mouth, but I'm not shocked.
Fine. But does it occur to you? It's very simple. And last question: does it occur to you that people believe you, and that you increase the temperature of race hatred in this country, and that long-term that might lead to some really bad things? Do you feel responsible for that?
You mean like black people getting harmed in all areas of activity, like black people getting shot legally and executed legally? What have you done to, Tucker, what have you done to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice?
I'm calling you out for lying. That's what I do. That's my contribution today.
For replacing... Okay, Tucker.
Yeah. Tariq, I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us tonight. Happy Kwanzaa to you.
Let's go ahead and tackle tether real quick, because the leader, non-leader, Tariq Nasheed, who he's just been exposed in this video, and many other videos, but, you know, in this video, made up the word tether. And all of his followers who said he's not the leader, right, are also saying the word tether, and they say it with their chest all the way out. It's a way for xenophobic, hateful, ethno-nationalist idiots to label all other black people on the planet that are not them, because keep in mind, these FBAs think they're special Negroes, okay? They don't want to be flat black. They don't want to be plain black. They don't want to be generic black, because they believe they are special, because white people has said that they are special. And Christian conservatives call them an society, by the way, not a lineage, a society. Keep in mind, the same white supremacists that they're so excited, and Tariq is so excited that he got a shout out from. Any pro-black Pan-African black nationalist who got a shout out from white supremacy would spit on that endorsement. But this one, he amped it up and was excited, and he was gaslit by it, by the way. So let's go ahead and tackle tether, because now white people, instead of saying the N-word with the hard ER, they can just say tether, because Tariq Nasheed, the contractor for white supremacy, gave them a word that they can say openly without being considered racist. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that.
But the tether class, that tether class who comes over, that gives a lot of people a rude awakening. We ain't playing that game. We're foundational black Americans. We're not going, y'all done sat here and let the white supremacists and all of the tethers sit up and tell you you don't have an identity. Man, your foundational black American identity is not a damn joke. You have a rich cultural identity on this land. Your heritage is deeper and richer than theirs.
The new movement in the free black African movement, you know, about, you know, anti-tethers and calling people tethers and stuff, that's a psyop. That's a psyop. That is a psyop. The sooner we realize that, the better. And watch how, like, aggressive these people are about it, too. Like, that's what should, like, be, you know what I mean? Like, why are you all of a sudden so fervent about, I hate tethers, or, oh, you know, they don't understand us. Like, where was all of this, like, a year ago, 2 years ago? Now, all of a sudden, all of these people, all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They're too aggressive for it to be, like, natural. And you would have thought it would develop like quicker, you know, because the free Black African movement has been around for so long. How come these themes have, you know, I'm sure they've been there, but how come they're all of a sudden so prominent? It doesn't make any sense, like how fast this is. And anybody who's been paying attention, you'll see we're in like post-Pan-Africanism. So like, where was the transition? How do we go from Pan-Africanism straight to hating immigrants and calling them tethers?
This is why I say like that FBA shit is a fucking cult. First of all, it gets to the fucking hair. Hold on. If I don't get no comments about my hair, y'all some fucking haters, and y'all not getting no fucking trauma review. I don't care. But these niggas will dead ass call every brown skin or dark skin black person who don't agree with their dumb ass xenophobia, or like if it's not even xenophobia, just dumb ass MAGA talking points, and then all of a sudden you're a fucking tether. I'm a fucking tether with 2 black American parents. Alright, buddy. Then they like found that one video of me with the fucking Dominican flag, and they're like, I knew you were a tether. Go back to Dominican Nigga, I'm only Dominican because of an African American subgroup, you stupid bitch. I've been said I was multi-ethnic, and I've been said I was mostly African American. You're not eating with that. My grandmother is an African American from New Jersey. She's in New Jersey and marries. My grandfather is from Georgia. He's Afro-Indigenous and African-American. He's Gullah Geechee and Afro-Indigenous, bitch. He's from Georgia. What are you talking about? My mom's family is all mixed up, but her grandfather's grandmothers are slaves in America. What are you talking about? I want to be African-American. Nigga, I don't want to be African-American, bitch. I am African-American. You're not eating with that dumb shit. And the crazy thing is, if you go to some of their pages when they're only promoting FBAs and black Americans, they're only posting people lighter than a brown paper bag. That's why I say, like, that should be a fucking cult. And that's why I was like, well, I'm not claiming this dumbass shit. I'm not claiming this dumbass shit. The only people who are that question you that are tethers are black Americans who are dark skinned. But light skinned black Americans that question you, they're not tethers. Gee, I wonder why. You niggas be the ops. And the crazy thing is, there's like 4 content creators that have been exposed for not actually being black American. Them niggas be like Haitian and shit. But you can tell. Yeah, no, you niggas can't. Shut the fuck up.
Black Americans who acknowledge their African ancestry are tethers. And let me tell you why. So by definition, tethers are a derogatory term that black Americans use for African and Caribbean immigrants to move to the States, right? And they want economic freedom, they want opportunity, you know, the whole American dream, or their parents moved here and they're second generation and they're reaping those benefits of their parents. So the reason why I say that they are tethers is because we acknowledge the experience that somebody else that looks like us is going through the same thing. If you remember the movie Us, you were tethered to your clone that lived underground, right? And they were going through the same experiences. They were struggling and all. Here as black Americans in the States, we are going through the same struggle that our brothers and sisters in Africa are, just in a different dimension. So we're like, oh, you know, it's stressful here, we want to move to Africa. And then they're like, oh, it's stressful here, they want to move to America. We're both mirroring the same sentiment due to the same exact experience, just in a different economy, a different upbringing, a different mentality. And we always have like the grass is greener on the other side mentality. Now, if you remember the movie Us, in there, the term was used tether. And so I think that's what mostly the FBA's, shout out to Tariq Nasheed. And so they got that from the movie where it's like tether. But the funny thing is, I think it's more, I took it and turned it into a positive. That's why I have tether in my bio. It's like, yeah, we're tether game. Yes, we are connected to black people in Africa, but foundational black Americans believe that that we are the original Americans, Native Americans, and that there is no lineage that traces black Americans back to Africa. Peace from Khalees.
Did y'all know that white people have discovered the word tether now? And they're starting to use it? What do you think that means?
Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite...
Say heritage American, I'm talking about something that includes Black Americans. Most of all. Our blood, our work, our stories are stitched into this flag just as tight as anyone's.
This idea of a heritage American has been on the rise in the MAGA right, the white supremacist movement that it is here recently, and it's so funny, to me at least, how historically inept and ignorant these people are to think that they would be a part of this quote-unquote old stock, this thing that is essentially the Volk from Germany back during the Nazi times, which is, by the way, there's a parallel there that you would think they'd pick up on, but now they'll just bitch about how it's not fair to call them that. Anyway, the truth of the matter is that there were more black people here between 1619 and 1808 before there was the wave of the Polish, the German, the Italian, and the Irish that came. That is the truth. Heritage Americans are not just white people despite everything you fucking idiots want to think. It is historically inaccurate, not that you care. This is this weird way you guys have to constantly frame everything outside of a racist perspective to give yourself some justification when everybody else knows what you're talking about. The hilarity is that this has been on the rise because of guys like Nick Fuentes, who is not a heritage American. He could not be a part of the group that you're thinking because he's not purely white. And the Ouroboros aspect of this, that's the snake that eats its own tail, is actually the funniest part, and how it's creating fractures within the MAGA movement, your fucking idiotic movement, because the bar always has to be set higher and higher. Yeah, you get away with saying that, no, actually, black people and brown people don't belong here because they're not heritage Americans, it's only white people, even though your family may have only shown up in 1912. Okay, well then what happens next? It means that once you get rid of all those people, now you're back to saying that Italians aren't, that Polish people aren't, that German people aren't, Irish people aren't. It's so fucking historically inept and stupid, and it's funny to watch MAGA chase its own tail on this one because they're too fucking dumb to understand history. I love it, man. You fucking idiots.
This conversation is for Black Americans. Why do you claim to be an Aboriginal American Indian indigenous to America when in fact we are descendants of West Africans? From the time I was born until currently, there have been several different instances or groups that have come out and say, you know, we're the real Israelites, we're the real Jews, we're Egyptians, we're kings and queens. And it just proves the type of erasure that the colonial people did to us in America. We are in this country that is the world's sphere, and then Black Americans became the world stage. And so I think we over time had to feel the need to be greater than our story. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with our story and us existing in the Americas because of slavery, but that's not the start of our story. And I think you guys are giving that slavery aspect too much power, so you feel the need to be something greater than that. A lot of these claims stem from the fact that there were people who discovered, I use that term very loosely, there were people who explored the American continents far before Columbus. Abu Bakr II of the Malian Empire, he sent out a voyage of over 2,000 ships to go across the Atlantic, and they never returned. And that's how Mutamanta became that emperor, the richest man in the world. Scandinavians also landed in Canada in the North American continent 2 centuries before Columbus. So people have explored the Americas way before the Europeans discovered the Americas, but they did not settle here. People often talk about the slave ships, and there is nothing more documented by Europeans than their most lucrative entity ever, which was the transatlantic slave trade. It is documented in Africa. The kingdoms that also interacted with Europeans have oral and written history of them capturing and selling slaves to the Europeans. It was so lucrative for them that all of the slaves that were bought on the ships were backed by insurance policies. And some of the insurance companies we know today, like AIG, exist because they were there to insure slaves. Some of the people who captured slaves were throwing slaves off of the ships in order to gain money because they knew some of them are going to die anyway. So let's just kill them so we can get their insurance payment. And these things are heavily documented. It's not, especially when Native Americans are alive and well. I think as Black people, if you, a member of the colonized group in America, add to the erasure of Native Americans, it is the biggest slap in the face, especially because Native Americans document their history so well, orally and written. You can go to a reservation today and go to a Native American library. You can read firsthand accounts of how they lived pre the Columbian period and how they lived once they encountered the Europeans and once Africans came in and encountered with them. Now, it may be true that some of us have trace amounts of Native American DNA or large amounts of Native American DNA, because in the South, when the natives were captured, they were working side by side with the enslaved Africans, and some of them procreated. That's a fact. That's not anything I would ever deny. Who you are, there's power and strength and what we've built and developed here. There's nothing, for me, being a member of the diaspora, there's nothing stronger and more beautiful in every single country that we exist in than the cultures that we've made, the food that we've created, the music we've created, and the fact that we're still here.
Just so y'all know, I got 2 of them. 2 of them. Don't mess with me, all right? Don't mess with me. Because we always got time, don't we? We always got time. Anyway, that's all we got to say. This is Afro Think Tank, my cute ass goats. We out.
Hey Lisa, this one for you, sir. Let's let this old school party rock out and shout for the night, y'all. Is you ready? Look, old school party. Lean over old school styles and hit it like y'all. Old school party. Good to see you, GD. Let's have a little fun with this one. With the A to it, y'all.
Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.